Om Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Today we'll be discussing the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and Lalit has come with his mother. Lalit was a devotee, a young devotee of Holy Mother, and his mother was an housewife, and she had come. The son had in fact brought his mother. So they entered the room, and standing there for a while, one of them asked, "Is she the Holy Mother?" Actually, this was before they became devotees. So there was a big group who came along with them. There were other people as well. So they were not knowing, because seeing her very simple uh, dress and other things, uh, she was so humble that it was difficult. They thought maybe uh, since she was so important, so many people are coming, they thought there would be an air of superiority. Normally, people who get importance or who are considered to be holy, or those whom many people respect, they have a tendency to just show that they're a little more than what they really are, and that leads to their downfall. Whereas truly great people are very humble. Sri Ramakrishna was very humble. His humility was so much that whenever somebody praised him, he said, "No, I am the servant of the Lord's devotees." So that is the attitude which Holy Mother also had. So anyway, they were all keen. They had heard about the greatness of Holy Mother, so they went and did salutations to her. So then the mother left them and went into the shrine of Sri Ramakrishna. So all of them followed her, and seeing her bowing down to Sri Ramakrishna, they also bowed down. Then mothers were normally, she used to sit there on a wooden cot in front of the altar and said, "Sit down, dear, sit down." We all sat at her feet. Lalit's mother was a housewife, so the mother just started the conversation. She would be kind even if people did not know or were not aware of what spirituality really was. But she was kind to all people, irrespective of what background they had. So Lalit's mother has come. Now she has to ask some question. So she says, "Mother, kindly tell us a few things about Sri Ramakrishna. We are all householders. Please give us some instructions how we can follow Sri Ramakrishna and tell something about Sri Ramakrishna." Then mother says, "I know nothing except what I directly heard from the master." Well, my darling, read the Kathamrita, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and you will find all the necessary instructions you need for your spiritual life there. What more can I tell you? Everything is there in the Gospel. So after paying the carriage fare, Lalit had gone to pay the carriage fare. They had come in a carriage. All the other members had come, while Lalit came straight to mother, and he prostrated himself, placing his head on her feet, and began shedding tears profusely and praying pitifully. You see, the others were induced by Lalit to come to Holy Mother. So they were a curious lot, but not as devoted as Lalit. Here Lalit comes and does Sashtanga pranams, does prostrates before Holy Mother and says, "Be gracious, O Mother, thou embodiment of mercy." It's known as Karunamayi. So you are a Karunamayi, that is, you are the embodiment of mercy. You are here to save this world. Kindly give me shelter. If you protect me, then I will be saved. I shall not leave your feet. You must grant me refuge. So he did Sashtanga Pranam, touched his head uh, to mother's feet. She was standing there, and he just did not let go of her feet. She said, "You have to give me shelter. I shall not leave your feet till you say yes. He went on imploring like this. The mother was all along standing like a statue. After a while, she said, "Please don't be impatient. Get up, my child." So then she consoles him, said, "Don't be so impatient. What do you mean by just give me grace right now? I want it right now." That's not the way. Everything will come in time. So you should not be impatient. Now, this Lalit was a boy of 15 or 16 years, and his latent spiritual nature was slowly beginning to unfold. He was dark complexioned and very well built. He was full of devotion to God, and his behavior often exhibited it. Again, he began shedding tears, saying, "Kindly grant me refuge at your holy feet, Mother. Kindly say yes. Graciously say that you have accepted me, otherwise I shall not get up." So he was just insisting and lying at her feet, literally, begging of her to shower her grace upon him. And he said that I'll not get up unless you bless me. At this moment, his feet touched an earthen pot containing clarified butter. Now you see, while he was doing this, the Lalit's feet accidentally touched something that was kept there for offering, and that is clarified butter, which is also known as ghee, or it is uh, clarified butter, which comes after when you heat butter and convert it into ghee. So he immediately shrank in self-condemnation and said, "Oh, what a great sin I have committed." So by accident, he had touched, his feet had touched had touched that offering, I mean clarified butter, which was kept in a pot. So normally people don't touch with their feet. They don't even touch with their hand unless they are pure enough. Things that are to be offered to the Lord. So he says, "What a sin I have committed accidentally. My feet have touched the pot." So he thought it was a very big or great omission. So he said, "What a sin I have committed. Someone gave the mother this clarified butter with great devotion and reverence, and now my wretched feet have touched it. Alas, what have I done?" In this way, he was lamenting when one fair complexioned old lady was busy working in the shrine said, "Well, son, you need not be afraid. What if your feet have touched the pot? Your feet are not something outside this universe. The two legs of men, of human beings, are parts of creation, and legs are a part and parcel of the human body. So, what is wrong? Why do you think it is wrong?" So we glanced at her. The calmness on her face and her simple, meaningful words deeply impressed us. Lalit was pacified to some extent, and regaining his composure, he saluted the Holy Mother and said, "Mother, kindly bless me." "The Master will bless you," said the Holy Mother. Saying this, she placed her hand on Lalit's head. He was then pacified when Mother said, "The Master will bless you." She didn't say, "I'll bless you." She said, "The Master will bless you." And after that, he was a bit pacified. Otherwise, he was not willing to leave. He was just grasping the legs of Holy Mother and was seeking her grace. So, but he was pacified and he went downstairs. Next, about this time, this conversation was going on, and Lalit had just left. He went downstairs after Mother pacified him. He said, "Everything will happen at the right time. Now you go." About this time, another middle-aged man appeared at the door of the mother's room. He was holding the hand of a young woman who was just 16 or 17 years old. He said, "Mother, she is my daughter. Her baby died this morning, and she's so grief-stricken. I have brought her hoping that you will be able to console her." This word made us all apprehensive. That is what the one who has recorded this reminiscences is writing. So, Mother says, "Come here." The young woman, who had just lost her infant son, entered the room and sat close to the Holy Mother. As she extended her hand to touch Mother's feet in a very respectful salutation, the mother moved away a little and said, "Well, should she touch me? She is now in a period of mourning." In Hindu tradition, in the Indian tradition, when somebody has passed away in the family, it's known as a period of mourning. All the members of the family, normally they don't go to visit holy people. There is a rule that at least for a few days you have to just sit at home, pray and meditate. You should not be going around in different places and touching other people. But that was the custom in those days. So just as if Holy Mother is asking this question of herself, she says, why should she touch me? She is now in a period of mourning. So Holy Mother also, as was the custom in the initial uh, stage, she instinctively mentioned, oh, how can I accept the touch of a woman who has lost her baby, small woman who has lost her small baby, and she is so much ridden with grief that it would be not be nice. I mean, that is the idea, that when you are in a period of mourning, you should not be. They in fact say you should not even visit holy places for a period. You have to just stay quietly and meditate and pray for the departed soul. So these words of Holy Mother made the woman's face all the more pale. She was already depressed, and now she said, see, I can't even touch Mother. As the Holy Mother, and she quietly moved a little away. When Mother said, no, 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 should she touch me in this state? So then Mother realized, looked at her face, and her heart was filled with compassion. Now that is the difference between Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna would be very strict, not allowing, he would not allow people to, he was very traditional and orthodox. Whereas Holy Mother, if somebody came to her with lot of mental agitation or some kind of misery, she could not tolerate. She would shower her grace on that. She would give solace to that person. So then suddenly she felt a compassion and said, ah, my girl, poor girl, you have suffered so much, so you have come to me for solace. And who knows how much I have hurt your feelings just now. That was just a reaction, because that was the custom, and Sri Ramakrishna never came to break any custom. But at the same time, and Holy Mother also did not come to break any custom. So first she reacted as a normal Hindu devotee or Hindu spiritual aspirant would behave, because the vibrations that are the vibrations of sadness or sorrow which are there, they are extremely contagious. So it affects the people around you. That's why that tradition was started. But Mother was so gracious. Then she says, oh, I have hurt your feelings. Come. Well, what does it matter if you are observing a period of mourning? Come, touch my feet to your heart's content. With these kind words, the mother came closer to the young woman with her eyes full of tears. The girl reverently placed her head on the mother's feet, and the mother blessed her by placing her hand on the girl's head. Sitting close to the girl, the mother began to comfort her, saying, what shall I tell you, darling? I hardly know anything. Keep a photo of the master with you and know for certain that he is very near you. So Holy Mother is giving a very simple solution, and this is a famous quote of Holy Mother. Very often this is quoted. She says, all you have to do is keep a photo of the master. The image and the form which represents the image, they are not separate. Naam or Nami Abhed. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, the name of the Lord and the person who is referred to, they cannot be separated. So the form and the name of Sri Ramakrishna cannot be separated. So she says, bow down to the master and cry and pray earnestly, shedding tears before him, because he is very near you. Keep a photo and think of his presence. So that is how one should do sadhana. Says, and then you have to cry and pray earnestly, "Oh Master, please draw me towards you." So this is the solution. Says, what is wrong if, I mean, I just repeat what the Master had told me. So you will get all the teachings in the gospel. And if you want to pray, pray to him directly. Just, it is your, whatever grief you are feeling in the heart, just pour it out by shedding tears before him. Because Sri Ramakrishna used to say, people who are really capable of shedding tears for the sake of the Lord, not shedding tears because they lose money or they lose some relatives or something like that. That is not, if one has that devotion and one can shed tears. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, if one can shed tears genuinely and pray to Sri Ramakrishna, he will answer your prayers. So, and what was the nature of the prayer? He says, you have to pray earnestly this prayer, that, "Oh Master, please," that is Sri Ramakrishna, "please draw me towards you. If you are, please grant me peace." By repeatedly doing this, you will feel peace of mind. Have faith in the Master and turn to him in prayer whenever you feel distraught. Now, this is Mother's advice to this Lalit, to this this woman who has come, who has lost her child and who has come to Holy Mother. She is saying that. Then she looked at all of us and said, she received this shock only today, that the child has died. He had died today only. The girl's father was all the while standing in front of the door. Now he and his daughter saluted the Holy Mother. Silently, she offered her mental anguish. But there were other people, so she just silently said, "Mother, I'm going through this mental anguish. Please save me." So he and his daughter, that lady, she had come with somebody. So that person and her daughter saluted the Holy Mother silently, offering their mental anguish. They were just trying to explain to her what had happened, why they are in anguish and all those things, and calmly returned home. Then, finding everything quiet in the room, I said, "Mother, I have a question to ask. If you kindly permit, I shall place it before you." Finding me hesitant, the same middle-aged lady, later I knew her to be Reverend Golapma, said, "Tell her, darling, you can tell the mother frankly all your innermost thoughts. Why should you shy before her? You just express yourself. You don't have to hide anything. They will be kept confidential. So why should you be shy?" Then I said, "Mother, I only wanted to say that I saw you and the Master in a dream." Now she has come all the way to relate what she saw in a dream. "You seem to be giving me spiritual initiation, but it was not finished. Ever since that dream which I saw, I have a very strong urge to take refuge at your holy feet." So he's telling Mother, "You see, I had a dream like this long ago, that that person saw both Sri Ramakrishna as well as Holy Mother. So, and he also saw that Mother was giving mantra diksha or spiritual initiation to that person, and it was not over. So after that, she feels that something is incomplete. I need to take refuge at the holy feet of Sri Ma Sarada Devi." So after that dream, he decided to approach Holy Mother for mantra diksha. Mother graciously replied, "Well, I shall give you spiritual initiation today itself. But do you have the consent of your husband?" So this was the question she asked. Normally, when women take, if they are dependent, if they are housewives, this question is asked, do you have the consent of your husband? The disciple said, I asked my husband concerning it. He said, I have no objection to it, but I am not going to take initiation now. You can have it. So that is what the lady's husband said. Because she had seen Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother in a dream, and Holy Mother had already started giving her initiation, but somehow she stopped midway. So after this dream and this experience, she was so much keen to come to Holy Mother and be initiated. Then disciple says, that lady disciple, I asked my husband concerning it. He said, I have no objection, but I am not going to take initiation now. You can go and have it. So mother says, where does your husband live? Disciple said, in Raipur. Mother showed me the bathroom and said, go and wash your hands and feet. So the disciple asked, Mother, I have not taken my bath yet. Mother says, that's all right. You don't have to take a bath. After washing my hands and feet in the bathroom, I went to the shrine room and found that the mother had already spread 2 asanas there. 2 canoe-shaped copper vessels containing Ganges water had been arranged for some kind of puja. The mother was sitting on one asana, facing the picture of Master. She asked me to take my seat on the asana placed on her left. Holy Mother was sitting on her left. She asked this disciple to sit. This lady, who was lucky to get initiation at the age of, she was very young. We do not know exactly the age, but anyway, she had come at a comparatively young age. So, taking water from the bigger vessel, she performed the ritual called Achmana. Achmana is you repeat the name of various deities and also the 3 states. There are many ways where one can offer or maybe perform the ritual, which is known as Achmana. It is known as Achmana. You sip some water and repeat some sacred mantra. So there are different mantras Gayatri has. Before saying Gayatri or before doing any puja, we say that. Next, she asked, which deity are you devoted to? In those days, Holy Mother is to ask or sometimes find out through intuition which is the deity which is most suitable. So she is asking, which deity are you devoted to? On hearing my reply, she gave me spiritual initiation. I mean, she must have told her that I like Kali or Durga or some other deity or maybe even Sri Ramakrishna. But hearing that reply, Mother gave her spiritual initiation and then she herself showed how the mantra should be counted. So she showed me the procedure for repeating the mantra. That very moment, the moment she explained the procedure, this lady felt that a current of bliss was sweeping the whole place, especially herself. So a gush of joy welled up within my heart and overwhelmed me. I was aware of practically nothing, but the mother guided me in completing the initiation. So this lady was very anxious because she did not know what this initiation is. She had seen in a dream that Sri Ramakrishna has come and mother is also there, but she is the one who is giving initiation. So anyway, now mother herself decided to give this lady initiation and explained all the procedure. When it was over, the Holy Mother said, now give me the offering due to a guru. I mean, there is a tradition that if one takes initiation or any time when you meet a guru, at least a small thing you have to offer at the feet of the guru. So anyway, give me the offering due to a guru. Disciple says, Mother, I don't know anything. Please tell me what to do. I have not brought any money. So she was thinking offering means money. She didn't know. Then Holy Mother corrected her, said, Mother herself got up brought 2 handfuls of flowers, oranges, plums, which were there, and handed them to me and said, she told me to pray with these flowers and fruits. I am offering to you. It was symbolic. Actually, mother was teaching her that before initiation, one has to, whatever we have done, good, bad, or everything has to be offered before mantra diksha. Then only it becomes effective. So there is always there will be a prayer which says, "Oh Lord, please take my offering, humble offering, whatever I have brought. May that result in uh, all my past karma, nullifying all my past karma." So she says, I am offering to you whatever good or bad deeds I have done in my past life. That is the idea behind initiation, that you stop regretting the past. Whatever you might have done, we can't calculate like that. We might have done many good deeds in several lives, so many evil deeds in some other life. So we don't know what is the baggage of karma that has come with us. We don't have that kind of insight. So the best thing is to do a prayer before initiation and with a little flowers. That is why something has to be offered to the Lord. So I am offering to you whatever good. Obviously, we have done a lot of good things, but whatever good or bad things I have done in the past or the present life, unknowingly or knowingly, there are many ways we make errors. Sometimes we do things unknowingly, sometimes we do it knowingly. So she repeated this. This was the prayer. I am offering to you whatever good or bad deeds I have done in my past or present life, knowingly or unknowingly. I repeated this and the mother graciously accepted them all. Oh, the compassion you have shown me, a good for nothing unworthy person. It was a compassion that seeks no return. My whole being was being consumed by it. There was so much love and so much compassion that mother was showing to this lady. And then she says, what things I saw, what words I heard. I surrendered myself, my whole being, my being to the lotus feet of the mother, and I became blessed. So these are the reminiscences. This is what happened when she took initiation. After saluting the mother, I came out to the veranda, onto the veranda, and stood like one possessed, holding the railing for about half an hour. She was in such a great mood that she just holding the railing when she left the room and was uh, holding the railing, standing there in a very high meditative state for almost 1 hour. I was brought back to normalcy by the cry of a girl and subsequently by the voice of the mother, and then I went back into the room. So somebody shouted, then that trance went away, and Holy Mother also uh, spoke. She used some words to bring, to not distract, I mean to uh, bring back to normalcy. Sometimes some people go into a very high state and then they wish to remain there. But sometimes it may not be very practical, because if you are in that state, then you can't possibly do any kind of work. So one has to have a balance. So anyway, she was brought back to normalcy. She was deeply spiritual, obviously. Otherwise, how will she get this uh, sort of, you cannot call it samadhi, but it's a very great state of mind, that she was just holding the railing. And this happened after Diksha. So it was the power of Holy Mother that made it possible for this lady to get this experience right in the beginning. When mother saw me, then she went to her room, and when mother saw me, she said, take your seat, take your seat. When I sat down, she said, she is my niece Radharani. Ever since her mother lost her mental balance, I have been taking care of Radhu's child, that is this child. The mother was holding her, but she was vigorously trying to flee herself and uh, free herself, trying free herself and flee. Mother was definitely holding her, but mother used to pursue in various ways because she was so restless. She was also very eccentric. Mother had to take great care. It was a great lesson in patience. So, mother was very, very carefully and nicely trying to persuade. She knew that it is not a normal child. So, mother was trying to persuade her to be quiet. The mother braided her hair, dressed her, fed her with her own hand, and so many affectionate words were told to her. I was surprised to see this sort of typical worldly behavior on the part of the Holy Mother. Why typical? Because she was treating the helpless Radhu's daughter. Uh, she was trying to do all the menial tasks which normally in big families somebody or the other will do it, ordinary people who were low profile sort of. So, but this person says, I was surprised to see this sort of typical worldly behavior on the part of the mother. They didn't understand. This was a kind of uh, deeply unattached work. That is what was going on. Mother was serving, it was not out of some kind of attachment, as we shall see later. So she was treating, she did all her duties, including cooking, cleaning plates, sometimes cooking for many people. So, and even though Radhu and her daughter, both of them gave a lot of trouble, she was very, very patient with them. So about this time, I was called for taking a bath in the Ganga. So I went and left. On my return, I found the mother offering food to the master. Coming out of the shrine, the mother entered the room where the food offering was made to the master. Then she shut the door of the room and came back to where we are. After that, the Swamis took their noon meal. So there were quite a few monks who were leaving them, and Golapma served them. When the meal was over, the Swamis left the room. Swamis who worked there, they used to come and sometimes take their meals here. Wherever, sometimes they would be outside, then perhaps they would not do that. But Golapma served anybody, and this was all done because Holy Mother never wanted anybody to go away hungry. So the meal was over, and whoever had come, the guests and people who had taken initiation, and the regular Swamis who are very regular, unless they went outside. So Holy Mother was just very particular to see whatever has to be offered is offered. The meal was continuously monitored by her. Sometimes she herself used to serve, sometimes clean the plates. The plate containing the food which had been offered to the master was brought into the middle room. So after offering the prasad, which we normally distribute, the sacramental food, here Sri Ramakrishna had himself consumed. So whatever little was there, that will be used as prasad. So asanas were placed for the women folk, and for Panchu, who was a 5-year-old boy. There was a 5-year-old boy, and asanas were kept for the women who came, so that they don't sit on the floor. Some kind of asana was there, asana was arranged, and Panchu, the 5-year-old boy who had accompanied me, to sit on. So not only for others, but for them also, they were asked to uh, sit on a asana. The Holy Mother and all of us took our meal together. I had a desire to take food consecrated by Mother, and so I was quietly waiting. Now, after initiation, normally that kind of devotion is there. So she wanted some kind of fruit prasad or some other prasad which Holy Mother has tasted. So that they wanted, the consecrated food which was consecrated by the Holy Mother. So she was quietly waiting. Everyone except me began to eat. Twice or thrice the mother requested me to eat. Now she was determined, but Holy Mother knew, said, no, why don't you eat? She was literally requesting. Please take your food. Then Golap Ma came to me and said, and inquired, what's the matter with you? I said, kindly give me a little food consecrated by Holy Mother. I'll eat the rest of it. Mother is asking me to eat and you are forcing me. I'll do that, but I kindly arranged to give a little food consecrated by Holy Mother. She had done puja, she had taken some prasad, so whatever is left is her prasad. So everybody was very keen to have it. So kindly give me a little food prasad consecrated by Holy Mother. The mother mixed her rice, ate a little of it, and placed a portion on my plate. So in her plate, Holy Mother put a little rice and other pudding, etc. What can I say? Then this one who is writing the reminiscence, this lady says, what can I say? What nectar I partook on that day. The cook had prepared, of course, the bhoga would have been prepared by somebody. Arahar, that is pigeon peas, then pulses, curried cauliflower, and a dish of chalta, that is a food item. So Golapma had prepared curried fish. All the preparations were very tasty, and Panchu was there. Panchu was a young person. He began to make a big fuss because he liked the food, he wanted more. At that, Golapma, Holy Mother quietly tried to distract him. At that moment, Golapma again appeared and asked, what has happened? Why is this boy behaving like this? I said, I did not want him to accompany me. Mother, I was trying to come here very quietly, but when the carriage had gone some distance, Panchu was playing on the street, came running and jumped in the carriage. What can I do? He just wanted to accompany me, didn't know. So naturally, he is not used to this kind of place. But anyway, he knew that wherever I go, one can just hop into that carriage. And then she says, this lady said that he makes such a big fuss. Then he'll say, I shall take a little more of this cauliflower curry. When they heard this, Golapma and others began to laugh. And that this is how this Panchu was behaving. Golapma said, you wanted to avoid him, but how could you hope to succeed? It was like on account of his good past deeds that he was able to meet the Holy Mother. Now, this is what everybody believes, that unless one is really deserving, the karma, the previous karma of that person makes him really deserving, till then it was so difficult to get spiritual initiation. So, when somebody said, Golapma said, that it is your good fortune, so much of accounts you might, so much of good deeds one had to do to have this great fortune. So mother supported the viewpoint of Golap, because nothing happens. When the right time comes, when you have done enough, then the spiritual grace descends. Then you feel like doing spiritual practices. It requires a tremendous grace, though it requires a lot of self-effort, but self-effort is not enough. 50% you can say is self-effort, the rest is grace. Grace does not come without self-effort. Without self-effort, you will not get grace. So, mother supported that viewpoint of Golapma, saying, yes. After the noon meal, I waited upon Holy Mother during the entire day. I was supposed to leave for Raipur, as Parul and Kamala had insisted that I go with them. But it was a far-off place, and so lest I should miss seeing the Holy Mother, who was her guru, in the near future, I didn't go. The mother sat in the sun on the roof to dry her wet hair and began talking about her parental home. Now this is where mother used to, in those days, people used to sit on the terrace, get some natural sunlight and try to dry the hair, which was wet. We didn't have high quality towels in those days. So maybe the best way to dry the hair would be to sit in the sun. So mother sat in the sun of the roof to dry her wet hair and began talking about her parental home. Now mother is telling about her parental home in Jairambati. She said, I brought up Radhu, who is a mentally imbalanced girl. She would not take food unless she is fed by others. Besides, I am not keeping good health. I suffer from rheumatism. For this treatment, I went to Varanasi and Vrindavan, but it was of no avail. So, she is telling her own problems now. After we had talked about various matters, the mother said, you are so young, a mere child. How is it that you feel an inclination for spiritual initiation? In those days, young people hardly came, but this lady was so young. The mother was surprised because even elders don't feel that urge to meditate, to urge to take spiritual initiation. Everybody is not motivated. So it requires a tremendous grace. People who are mostly coerced by their parents, parents normally make the mistake by saying that, oh, we have taken Diksha, you also go and take spiritual initiation. It doesn't work that way. So, unless there is God's grace, there will be no inclination for spiritual initiation. And if there is spiritual initiation has already taken place, then the devotion, the dedication to the ideal or the Ishta will increase. Yeah. So, disciple says, Mother, I really don't know. I don't enjoy worldly life. Now she is trying to be humble. When mother said, only because you deserve this, you have come to this. There are so many young people. How many of them come? They are so busy with their careers. They are busy with so many things. But you are lucky because you stuck and then waited to take this kind of spiritual initiation. Mother said, really, I don't know anything. In my heart, no, sorry, the disciple is telling the mother, Mother, I really do not know anything. I don't, but one thing I know, why I have come here is that I don't enjoy worldly life anymore. In my heart, I really want to shun worldly life. In fact, I was feeling great restlessness because I could not do it. At long last, I found peace of mind today. Besides, this world is something impermanent, isn't it? It's really only for a few days. Everything around me seems to be unreal. So how can I give my mind to it? Now this disciple is telling, no, I don't know what is happening, but for a long time, I don't enjoy worldly life. Not only that, there is a deep desire to shun all types of worldly, to shun totally the worldly life. And then, in fact, she says, I was feeling so much of restlessness before initiation. Besides, she said, I thought the world is anyway not going to last. It is impermanent. Knowing the nature of the world, it is impermanent. Then, and it lasts only for a few days. Few days in the sense, it's just a literal translation. It can be a few years also. But to consistently get the feeling that the world around me is unreal or less real than what if you think that the things around you, even for a moment, if you think that these are not permanent, this will not give me permanent joy, then one uh, one uh, cannot give the mind to it. That's why she says, if everything is unreal, then how can I get any interest and give the mind to it? Means allow the mind to focus on these things, which I consider to be worldly. About this time, a lady of the same age as Holy Mother came in and sat down. As I was sitting very close to Mother, the latter's shadow fell on my person. Noticing this, the lady rebuked me, saying, what sort of girl are you that you are sitting on the shadow of Holy Mother, you will incur sin. Please sit a little away. Now, that is all superstition which used to be felt by practiced in those days. I sat very close to Mother, for I had taken her to be my very own. Now feeling embarrassed, I moved a little away. The lady then asked the mother, "Who is this girl?" She didn't know that is the mother said, "The girl has received initiation today. She is very devoted." At these words of mother, I felt embarrassed. She felt embarrassed. And she went to the next room where Parul and others were gossiping. Just then Lalit came and said, "Come on, sister, the carriage is ready. It is nearly sunset. So I want the Holy Mother to take leave of her." Mother said, "Will you come? When will you come here next?" So Mother very compassionately said, "Okay, now you go. The carriage is there." Anyway, she was very happy that she had given initiation to a very deserving young woman who did not want to fall into the trap of the world. So then the disciple says, "I shall come to you whenever you graciously remember me." Mother asked her, "Oh, you are going, so please do come again. And when are you coming next?" The disciple says, "I don't know. If you graciously remember me, then maybe I'll be ready to come anytime. I'm not able to do so much by my own effort." So she's saying that I know I have to do intense effort to realize God, to remember the Lord, but I am not able to do anything by my own effort. So again, she's saying, "Mother, kindly bless me. Kindly remember me, O Mother, so that my spiritual, I shall go forward in my spiritual path." Then Mother said, "Okay, please come again." So that was a license for her, or maybe that was a matter of great joy that Mother, though she had gone only once, maybe for initiation, but uh, Mother is calling her to come again and again, because they say constant satsang only will help a person get rid of the worldly ideas. Unless one is born without worldly ideas, but most of the people are born with so many, the baggage of so many thoughts, desires, and which continue from life to life. So that is the secret, that we don't come, though our biological parents have, we inherit our genetic characteristics from our biological parents. But the baggage of karma, the incidents that are going to take place in our lives, the people or the situations around, everything depends on the grace of the mother. So Holy Mother was looking at her uh, with lot of compassion. And then this disciple also was feeling very sad. How can I go? There's so much of love, so much of instructions I could get from my guru. So, but still, she says, "I prostrated myself at mother's feet and returned with my physical body, leaving behind with the mother my real self." So my subtle mind I had left behind, and she had physically left that place because she was asked to. With tears in her eyes, the mother stood at the top of the staircase. I was full of joy within and without, because first of all, she got initiation, and then mother kindly allowed her, told her that you have to pray. They gave her so many instructions, how she should be conducting her upasana or sadhana. And finally, uh, she made arrangements also. And mother looked at her with a sorrowful heart and gave her two beetled rolls. They had taken food, but beetle leaf rolls were prepared by Holy Mother. Holy Mother used to prepare it very often. So she gave it to this disciple of hers. And with tears in her eyes, the mother stood on the top of the staircase. That is what mother always used to do, Holy Mother. She used to go sometimes go accompany the disciple till the end of Jairambati and then wave to them and then come. She had such a compassionate heart. So I was hearing the voice of the mother as it were even while I was traveling in the carriage. Perhaps somebody was taking them and somebody had heard the voice of mother, that parting advice or whatever it is which uh, she shared. So with I was hearing the voice of this disciple after she left the place and she was traveling. She could not forget that voice. I was still hearing the voice of mother as it were, even while I was traveling in the carriage. So after that, we'll come. The mother kept her word. For 2 years later, on my return from Raipur, I was able to see her again during her last illness. So, since mother had said you will come back, uh, she went and she could visit afterwards and during her last illness. So, yeah, we will now conclude. There are two questions in the chat. I was thinking exactly that, Maharaj. The 5-year-old Panchu's karma was wonderful. Else he would not have come to meet the Holy Mother. How fortunate he was. Yes, that is what exactly happens. People without background, as I told you, there are so many devotees who have themselves taken initiation. They literally sometimes try to force, not knowing that when the right time comes, only then one can be initiated or will receive, not only receive spiritual initiation, but also uh, get something worthwhile to practice. Otherwise, if one is not prepared, so automatically when destiny feels that the time has come for initiation, whether you have a background, whether you belong to a devotee's family or some acquaintance who has introduced you to spirituality, whatever be the reason, one has to, when one has worked out his karma, only then he will get the grace. So maybe this Panchu, though he was a young kid, he had done so many good deeds in the past life that he managed to jump into the carriage and finally come to see the Holy Mother. So, but since Mother had said that you can come, so she could visit this dear disciple of hers. And she says, I was able to see her again during her last illness. And later on, these incidents show that whatever be the effort made by people around us, unless the right time comes, one will not be initiated. So you cannot say it is chance, it is something which depends on the previous karma. There's one more question. Nowadays, holy person who initiates someone takes his or her good or bad karma. Can he transmit his spiritual power to the disciple? Yeah, both are the functions of a guru. In some mysterious way, one may not feel the feel it physically, but very often some subtle power is transmitted, not just because of the guru's power, but it is also because of the intrinsic power of the mantra. The mantra is not an ordinary thing. When one takes spiritual initiation, when you say that the power is going with that, it is the power of the mantra which adds to the even the inanimate things, and then that results uh, in improving the spiritual quality of the ambience of the place where these thoughts are thought, where initiation is done. If you even now, if you see, I had an opportunity to go and visit or meditate for a lot of time in the very room where great monks of our order, great devotees, thousands and thousands mother had initiated in her old house, in her small room, which now has been locked, which is always kept locked, and then there is puja done there. It's not used for by anybody, but that was the room where Holy Mother gave initiation to many. Some of them became presidents of the Ramakrishna order. So there is, if you even now if you go, you can feel that ambience. So naturally, uh, the question here is asked is whether the good or bad karma of the disciple goes to the guru. Yes, to a certain extent it goes, because out of compassion, even if the guru does not take fully the bad karma, it is his duty to see that the disciple's bad karma or disciple's uh, inclination towards spiritual life does not decline. One has to be, one has to remember, it's not the, after taking spiritual initiation, many people do not even get a chance or do not even keep contact with the guru. Of course, he is there, the power is always subtle, the mantra is subtle, the ambience is subtle. So the thought waves are still there. The grace of the Lord is still flowing. But one has to raise the sails, and the spiritual sadhana that we do is our effort in trying, as Thakur used to say, you just take one step towards the Lord, and then you'll see Lord is taking 10 steps towards you. So that is what uh, this incident shows here. So we will conclude. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.